What is your closing argument to the people of Maryland on the issue of crime that Republicans have been running on?
Yeah, the closing argument is that we have to be able to have a society where we can get violent offenders off of our streets, to get illegal guns off of our streets. And frankly, that is something that our party has been pushing on and actually making happen. That we all understand the issue of public safety. I had to get off the campaign trail early this year because a grandmother, a 69-year-old grandmother who was living in East Baltimore and was a member of my home church, was killed in the church bathroom. So I understand this, and I've seen this firsthand, and I understand the need to be able to address it. I also know that we need a police force that's going to move with appropriate intensity and absolute integrity and full accountability. And if you're looking at the coalition that we have built, that our campaign has built to be able to address it, there's a reason why everyone from Progressive Maryland to the police union have actually supported our campaign. Because we understand that we've got to find ways of being able to work together. We've got to find ways of being able to be collaborative if we're going to get violent offenders off of our streets, illegal guns out of our neighborhoods, and making sure that children never have to grow up in a community that they do not feel safe in.
Your current Republican governor has called the Republican candidate a QAnon whack job. Do you expect your opponent to concede this election and accept the results of this election if you win?
Well, I mean, my opponent has said that he has not decided if he will accept the elections for tomorrow night. But the reality is that I'm not holding my breath because he still has not accepted the results of the 2020 election. So the thing that we are doing is we are going to control what we can control, which is we plan on winning so overwhelmingly. We plan on not just winning tomorrow night, but also sending a message that whether or not we get a concession from my opponent or not is frankly irrelevant to me. We plan on winning by such a margin and such a number that we are going to send a message to the state that we are prepared to lead and we are going to be moving forward.
With inflation as a global phenomenon and inflation in the United States actually a bit lower than it is in many other industrialized countries, what can you do and what can you tell voters of Maryland you can do about what they're suffering in the current economy with inflation that is beyond the reach of a governor?
Yeah, I mean, the issue of rising costs is real, Lawrence. And when people say around the state of Maryland, whether you're talking about Westminster or West Baltimore, when they say things just feel like they're more expensive, the answer is it's because they are. And so there's a few things that the governor can uniquely do to be able to address it. One is we've got to get people back to work. And that means doing things like fixing a broken childcare system. Since COVID began, we've had over 750 childcare centers in the state of Maryland close. If you have childcare centers that are not open, you're not going to get parents, particularly parents of young children, back into the workforce. We have to invest in job retraining and job reskilling. Right now in the state of Maryland, we have 2 available jobs for every single person filing for unemployment because there's a disconnect between the skill sets and the dynamic economy that Maryland presents. And the third thing is we've got to increase wages. You cannot have situations where people are working jobs, in some cases multiple jobs, and still living below a poverty line. That's the Alice population. And so we've got to make sure we are focusing on pathways for work, wages, and wealth for all Marylanders. That's the way we can not just deal with the issue of short-term rising cost, but the issue of long-term economic stability and economic growth.
You have not held elective office before. To start off in a governorship, voters are going to have to trust you with an ability they have not seen. They have not seen you hold an elective office before at some lower level or some other level that would give them an indicator of how you would work as a governor. What can you tell voters about what to expect of you as a possible governor?
Yeah. You know, I tell people that, you know, I've been a public servant for much of my life. I just haven't been a politician. But what voters are going to vote for and hire for the next governor is the state's next chief executive. And I would put my executive experience against anybody, whether it was leading soldiers in combat, where I led paratroopers with the 82nd Airborne Division in Afghanistan, or when I came back and started a successful small business in Maryland, helping students go to and through college, or when I led one of the largest poverty-fighting organizations in America. I know what it means to lead. I know what it means to work across sectors, and I know what it means to work on these issues, whether you're talking about economic growth or making sure, or focus on early childhood or criminal justice reform or housing. This has been the work of my life. And so when you look at so many other states who actually, for their governor, to include Maryland and Virginia and Connecticut and Pennsylvania, where the first elected office that those governors held was governor. Because when people are looking for a governor, you're looking for an executive who understands how to work across sectors and get big things done. And that's what I've done for my entire life.